Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Integer and today I present you a video about my £350 budget PC build. Now, in this video I'll go through the case, which I think is very important because that's the biggest part of your new build, as well as walk you through the components and how much I paid and what I got for that money. So let's begin with the case. That is a Zalman R1 mid-tower case, which I got from Amazon for £43. I wanted to go with something a bit more expensive, not something too on the cheap, because you have plenty of cases flying about £25–30 new, as well as wanted to go with the new case specifically. And I must say I'm pretty happy overall with the product I received. As you can see right now, we've got a nice front panel with one USB 3, two USB 2 connections, on and off button and a reset button. Front panel has audio damping to reduce the sound made by the noise by the fans, of which you can mount two at the very front. Now, taking off the side panel, I think they could have done a better job in implementing the window in the side panel, because it looks like it's a little bit flimsy. However, it stays in place, and I guess if you don't fiddle around too much, it will do its job just fine. Now, coming to the inside, well, you see the overview of what the case looks inside. I like the black finish, not the cheaply looking metallic one. We've got a 650 watts Superflower 80 Gold Plus power supply. We've got a Gigabyte Z97 chip HD3 motherboard, rocking a Intel Pentium G3258 processor clocked at 4.4 GHz. We also are running a Palit GTX 1050 2GB graphics card with 8 GB of DDR3 RAM clocked at 1600 MHz. Two hard drives that I'm using are the following. The primary one is a 60 GB Intel SSD drive with a secondary 500 GB HDD hard drive. Now, whilst I continue investigating the case on the footage itself, let me talk about a little bit more the case itself and try to explain why I chose this case and whether £43 that I paid for this case new is actually worth it. First and foremost, I must highlight that the case comes with 320mm fans pre-installed, which I think immediately cranks up the value of the case. Sure, they're not high-performance fans, they're not a high-end manufacturer fans, however, they definitely do their job. They're not awfully loud, and the top front fan, if you're into that kind of thing, has also a blue LED. Now, the case, I must say, is riddled with nice little features, like, for instance, a dust filter for the bottom fan, of the PSU. Has plenty of air vent holes to make sure that the airflow is constant and optimal. Has a nice space between the inner chassis and the side panel for cable management, and overall I did find installation of the components relatively easy and frustration free. One thing I must say that I found a little weird was the mounting point of the SSDs, and I was never able to figure out how to properly mount it. However, there were screw holes available, and I was able to make sure that it's fixed and immobile within the case. Now, on the screen right now, you should be able to see the list of all the prices and all the components what I paid, which makes it to pretty much exactly £300 if you take away from the account that I received free shipping from Amazon due to my Prime membership. And I must say I was relatively impressed with this case. Didn't expect great things from Zalman, however it definitely delivered, and therefore I am happy to say that it's a thumbs up for this case. Now, nothing is perfect, I'm afraid, and this case in my eyes does have a couple of drawbacks. The first one being that top panel that hides the exhaust point for the top two mountable fans. With it completely closed, there's pretty much no room for airflow, and when you remove it, which is actually quite a hard task, you might leave too much space open, and from my experience, having that might actually negatively influence the overall airflow and thus temperatures inside your case. The other thing is the PCIe expansion slot backplates that are not refixable at the back. Basically, once you remove them, they're gone for good. They're not major things, however, I did thought they are worth a mention. One last thing I would like to talk about in this video that I never think has enough light shed onto it is the actual BIOS menus of the motherboards. And I must say Gigabyte Z97 HD3 does have a pleasant BIOS menu. You are welcomed by this quick access menu that you can select the basic options without the need to going into actual BIOS. If you click on the right arrow, you will go into the standard BIOS mode. However, it's the left arrow and that BIOS mode that we're the most interested in, because it is the smart tweak mode, which provides intuitive and clean interface for overclocking and system performance monitoring. If we see on the left hand side of the screen, we have two status panels for CPU performance as well as memory performance, providing information like voltage, temperatures, and clock speeds. If we pan to the right side, we have the system status that provides voltage information for different chips on the motherboard. The middle section, however, is your bread and butter if you're interested in overclocking and tweaking your hardware. Frequency tab has all the information settings for CPU overclocking, memory, equivalent settings for memory, voltage controls voltage supply to different motherboard parts. Miscellaneous has things like fan controls that if you want to set it to manual speeds, and Home has a lovely overall overview of all the settings available. So yeah, props for Gigabyte for creating a overclocker friendly, user friendly, and overall clean and intuitive interface, which I know sometimes have been an issue with motherboards I've had in the past. So yeah, when I set up to build myself a budget PC, I never expected to be able to achieve this performance for mere £350. And overall, I am very happy with the system. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure you click that like button, and if you did not like it, there's a dislike button there as well. Comments are welcome underneath, and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the content. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.